America is filled with strange places, but some locations take secrecy to an entirely different level. These are places you cannot visit. Places with round-the-clock guards, locked gates, surveillance systems that can detect a bird flapping its wings, and warning signs that leave out the one detail everyone wants to know. Why? Mount Weather in Virginia looks like a normal wooded mountain from the outside, but beneath the trees is one of the most secret and heavily guarded facilities in the country. It is so secure that almost nothing about what happens inside has ever been released publicly. What we do know goes back to a single catastrophic event. On December 1st, 1974, a TWA flight crashed into the mountain during a storm. Local firefighters rushed toward the impact site, only to be intercepted by federal agents. The rescuers were ordered to leave immediately and were told that the federal government would handle it. This was the first time ordinary Americans even realized there was something inside Mount Weather. Freedom of Information Act requests later revealed that Mount Weather is a continuity of government site. This means that in a national crisis, the country's most important leaders can be evacuated here. But that explanation is only part of the story. The facility has grown over the decades. Additional underground levels exist, but are classified. Entire sections of the compound remain off limits even to government employees without specific clearance. The location is guarded 24 hours a day by armed personnel, motion detectors, and sensors buried underground. Anyone approaching the fences is confronted almost instantly. Despite this, no official document explains what is in the deepest sections of the facility or why it requires continuous military-grade protection even during peaceful times. And that is what keeps Mount Weather on the list. Dulce, New Mexico is a tiny town, but drive toward Archuleta Mesa and the atmosphere changes instantly. Locals warn visitors to stay away. Black SUVs appear seemingly out of nowhere. Motion sensors line the roads, and the closer you get, the clearer it becomes that someone does not want people near the mesa. The federal government denies operating any facility in the area. There are no official buildings listed, no public records, and no acknowledged activities. Yet dozens of eyewitnesses have reported helicopters without markings, bright lights flashing at night, and what looks like the glow of ventilation shafts inside the rock. Whatever is inside Archuleta Mesa has been guarded for decades, and the security has only intensified. With no official explanation, this remains one of the most mysterious, restricted areas in the country. Green Bank is famous for its radio quiet zone. Cell phones, Wi-Fi, and anything that emits radio waves are banned. Everyone thinks the security is because of the massive Green Bank telescope, but this is only part of the story. Residents report that certain wooded areas near the observatory are patrolled constantly. These patrols are not conducted by local police. Witnesses describe unmarked trucks that appear at the exact moment someone wanders too close to specific forested sections. Some of these areas contain fenced-off structures that do not appear on any public map. They are guarded day and night. People have tried to hike around the fences and were intercepted almost instantly by security personnel who refused to identify themselves. Even stranger, the observatory has the authority to shut down electronic devices within the zone without warning. This includes cars, generators, and other equipment, but no one has ever explained why these powers are needed in areas that are nowhere near the telescope. The Teapot Dome scandal involved illegal oil drilling on federal land almost a century ago, and what most people do not know is that part of the land contained enormous natural caverns that later became a restricted site. After the scandal ended, the government sealed off these caverns and placed them under continuous surveillance. Today, the area is surrounded by fences, motion detectors, and armed security. No public tours exist, no geological surveys are allowed, and the Department of Energy refuses to confirm what is stored there. What makes this even more mysterious is that satellite images show ventilation systems and what appear to be reinforced entrances built into the ground, yet there are no public records describing construction at the site. Teapot Dome is a place that the public forgot, but the federal government never stopped watching. Quincy is known for its massive tech presence, including data centers for Microsoft and Yahoo, but locals talk about one facility that stands out from the rest. It is a windowless structure surrounded by cameras, fencing, and armed guards. Unlike the tech centers, this building has no corporate logo, it is not listed on any company website, and it receives deliveries at night from trucks with their license plates covered. Rumors about this building intensified in 2018 when residents reported hearing a deep humming noise coming from underground. Others noticed that the facility stayed bright 24 hours a day, even during storms and power outages that shut down other buildings in the area. Internet analysts noticed that Quincy is the site of a major backbone connection for global communication lines. This has led to speculation that the anonymous building is a government interception point, but no agency has ever confirmed this. Whatever its purpose, the non-stop security makes it clear that someone is protecting something extremely sensitive inside. Oak Ridge National Laboratory has a long history of nuclear research. The campus is enormous and much of it is restricted, but several structures known as the Unlisted buildings are so secret that even workers with high clearance levels cannot access them. Employees refer to these buildings using codes instead of names. Some lack building numbers entirely. They have no public descriptions, no tours, and no official acknowledgement. Security officers guard the entrances around the clock, and anyone who walks too close is questioned. If you look at satellite views, you can see the structures clearly, but if you overlay the official layout, the buildings vanish. It is as if they have been erased. Former employees have stated that these buildings contain experimental facilities unrelated to public projects. Others believe they house classified energy research, but no one knows why the secrecy needs this level of constant security. Dugway Proving Ground is known for chemical and biological testing. The entire installation is heavily guarded, but the area known only as the restricted zone is treated differently. There are military bases that allow some level of press access, but Dugway does not, and the restricted zone goes even further. Guards patrol the fences 24 hours a day. Sensors cover miles of desert, reinforced checkpoints sit on empty dirt roads, and drones patrol overhead. In 2012, a group of hikers accidentally crossed into an unmarked part of the zone, and within minutes, 4 helicopters surrounded them. They were detained, questioned, and escorted out by armed personnel. The reason behind this extreme security has never been explained. Officially, Dugway handles defense research, but the restricted zone is never mentioned in public reports. Whatever is inside, the government treats it as something far beyond normal military secrecy. In the middle of the desert sits a tunnel system so heavily monitored that even standing near the fence can trigger a security response. Everyone talks about Area 51, but the Nevada National Security Site might be even stranger. Specifically, the location called the Forgotten Tunnels by locals. These tunnels were originally created for nuclear blast experiments, but after testing ended, instead of sealing them, the government increased the security. Today, the tunnels are surrounded by barbed wire, motion detectors, and long-range cameras. White trucks with government plates patrol the area day and night, and anyone walking near the boundary is stopped. What makes the tunnels mysterious is that no public research has been conducted there in decades. There are no scheduled activities and no official purpose, yet guards protect them continuously. Denver International Airport is famous for conspiracy theories, but the real mystery lies beneath the surface. Construction workers have confirmed that deep underground, tunnels were built during the early development of the airport. These tunnels were supposed to be part of a baggage system, but when the system failed, the tunnels were sealed. Except not all of them were. One section remains active. Employees say that guards stand watch 24 hours a day near service elevators that lead below the airport. These guards are not from airport security, they are federal officers. Whenever maintenance crews request access to the lower levels, they are denied unless a federal escort accompanies them. Even then, workers are only allowed into specific sections. The existence of an underground bunker has been supported by multiple contractor reports, but no agency has admitted what the bunker is used for. Given the size of the airport, analysts believe it may be a continuity of government location, but again, the level of secrecy does not match any official explanation. Denver International Airport's deepest level remains one of the most strange and most secure spots in America. No place in America is guarded more tightly than the mountain that holds Raven Rock, except the second mountain that the government refuses to talk about. Raven Rock in Pennsylvania is a massive underground complex designed to act as a backup Pentagon. It is heavily guarded and well known, but what most people do not know is that there is an extra site located several miles away that receives the same level of protection with none of the public acknowledgement. This second site is visible on satellite images as a fenced-in area with several structures that look similar to Raven Rock. But unlike Raven Rock, it has no records, no designation, and no government statement confirming its purpose. Locals say they regularly see military vehicles entering the private road that leads towards this site. Helicopters circle the area at night, sensors line the woods, and the gate is guarded 24 hours a day by federal officers with no identifying insignia. All we know for certain is that the government guards it intensely and refuses to explain why. All right, guys, that's been our list for today. Thanks so much for checking it out. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and I will see you again soon. Bye.